Welcome to another edition of me and my Defender, or my LR90. I know it's not an actual Defender because of the year. Okay, so there it is, and today we're going to swap this out. Now, from my research, this strap that holds this little lozenge style coolant tank is really rare to find and extremely expensive. One mechanic who thought I needed this strap told me yesterday that they're upwards of $400 for just a bracket and the strap alone for people that want to be building a period correct Defender style vehicle, or LR90, and these came on there for several years. So hey, it's for sale if anybody needs it. So I'm going to be swapping this out and putting in the Allisport coolant tank, and I got the one that you might have seen in another unboxing video with the sight level on the side and also the warning thing when the coolant level gets too low. So that's going to be really cool. The only thing is it doesn't mount the same way that this one mounts. It'll have two bolts, you know, one here and one over here, and then the forward side of the tank needs to be supported by the inside of the fender well. So that strap has two different part numbers, and one of them is discontinued or no longer available, and the other one is like $65 plus shipping from England when it's just a strap of metal. So I went to Home Depot and I bought a strap of metal, and I started bending it, and I got one side done, the side that's going to connect to the top tank, and then I'll just put the entire length down in here once I have things out of the way, and figure out how long it needs to be, and then cut it, shape the edge of it, smooth it all out. It's aluminum, so it won't have any kind of galvanic corrosion, being metal connected to the now aluminum Allisport coolant tank, and paint it black and bolt it in. And the only thing that will be seen under here is there'll be a bolt right around there. This is metal, so it's not a problem at all, and it's in fantastic shape. I'm really fortunate that the previous owner took great care of this truck for the 5 years that he had it, and that the previous owners before that in Italy took great care of it. I even left the sticker on here that this is the shop that used to take, this is the shop here that used to take care of it in Italy. Biscaglia Fuoristrada. I don't know what that means. Oh well. Okay, so I'm gonna set the camera up maybe right around here somewhere, so you can have access to that. And since that background is a little bright, I'm gonna go ahead and put up a tent. All right, see you in a minute. All right, so first thing is to empty the water, and the easiest way from what I've learned is to disconnect this one and then just bring it down into a bucket. But first you got to pull out what's in here. I'm going to get a small little fluid transfer for this. Now the fluid transfer little doohickey that I have has been used for transmission fluid, has been used for oil, and so because of that, the amount that I take out from here, I'm going to take out as much as possible from here. I'm just going to dump and not try to filter it through and use it back in the system. I might completely replace all the coolant in the system, since today I'm only doing this filler, this piece, and I'm not doing the radiator and the intercooler, and I'm not taking apart all the rest of the hoses. So I'm just going to try to pinch off the bottom hose that's going to come off of here, and the other two, to try to mitigate spilling too much stuff. So I'm going to pull out as much as I can from here and dump it, and just take it to the outer parts and just dump it. what these pumps cost, I would say just buy one for a one-time use. Let me grab a flashlight. Man, I need a third hand. Hey, it is pulling up more. It's pulling some from the hose that's going down. So from the lower red hose. It's suctioning it up. Because I was able to press this right into the opening where this bottom hose connects to. So I'm actively pulling fluid out from the hose, which is fantastic. Wow. Yeah, because I have more in this small red bucket than what fits in this little lozenge tank. Wow. I can't believe how well this is working. I have it pressed up, like the tip of the hose is pressed up right up against the hole that connects to the outlet of this lower radiator hose. And apparently it's making enough suction to keep draining the system, because I've already pulled out way more than this coolant tank can hold. So it's going to pull out as much as it can until it loses prime, which I guess is right about now. And this tank is empty. It actually fits into the hole. No wonder it was getting good suction. Wow. Well, I'm gonna hold that in there. I'm gonna try for some more. Okay. Very nice. Okay, so now I'm going to start disconnecting a few. Now, I did get a new one of these and I set it all up nice. So why don't I go ahead and swap out this these hoses just so I can have it ready to plug right into the other one before I start dismantling all this stuff. Is this going to be easy? I don't think so. It's not going to make it easy for me, is it? This one. There's 3 ends to this. One hose is over here by the thermostat housing. One hose is here at the expansion tank, and the other hose, the other side, goes into the radiator. And these have been in here for who knows, maybe since the beginning. No, they were probably swapped out when the engine was put in. Okay. Alright, so the little hose clamp that's over here on this side, the part that goes on the radiator, the slit isn't wide enough for my my spade to go into. So I'm going to find a thinner one so I can loosen everything up. Just in case I could not find one, I found two very, very small tools here. Oh, it's still smaller than that. Wow. Okay, so it was a quarter inch drive. I hope these clamps fit around the silicone hoses, because those are usually a little thicker. Well, since these hoses are coming off, I'm just going to slice the top. Sharp blade. Rather quickly. Yeah, these have been here for a while. There we go. Alright, so that one's gone. Here it is from Allisport. So goes down here. It's just going to go around and up. First, let me slide this one off. Let's see. You can see there what I'm doing. Little bit of liquid in there. Now, let's put in this one. And this went behind the hose. Sorry, behind the belt. Open this up a little bit. This thing has to tuck in good. Because this hose has to be tucked in very good. Can't be anywhere near those pulleys. I hope I'm lining this up correctly, or else this video will be kind of useless. I was able to get the clamp around the outlet for the radiator here. So I'm just clamping it down just a little bit. You don't want to clamp it down too much. You don't know it's too tight on these new hoses. Alright, so this is the one that's going to go onto the new one. So I don't have to worry about that one at the moment. I did use some nice factory type clamps over here on the valve. I have to just make sure that this one is clamped properly. Let's see if this is the right size for this. Here it is. Okay. So now what I'm trying to do is take this piece off. Well, first I'm gonna just try to disconnect as much of this as possible now before taking off the lower hose, so that then I can position, drill the holes for the other one, and do the transition from one hose to the other, from one tank to the other quickly. That's going to be a bitch to get down there, so I think I will have to release this piece. Okay. Hold this with another 10. Sideways here while I remove this piece here, which should be also a 10. Oh wow, the area behind this is almost non-existent, because on a left-hand drive vehicle, the venting comes in from here, so you have this one piece of plastic that moves, that connects right underneath this wing top vent intake all the way back and into the heater system. So you have to be real careful. I don't know where I'm going to have the space to stick my hands back there and put in the nuts that I want to put in for the new one. I'm going to have to remove this top vent and loosen up the bottom piece. Man, this might be a whole to do. Oh, there's a spreader plate. There you go, don't lose that. Okay, that goes behind it. Look, it's attached somewhere else. Where? Wait. I don't see it. Oh, don't tell me it's welded. Oh, and I have an AC hose going through it? You've got to be kidding me. Okay, I can take off this bracket from both sides first, so, and then I can reassemble. I'll figure it out. Okay. All right. So I got this off to the side because the bottom clamp is still connected there. That's one of those nice original clamps with the spring on the end. I love those. I'm going to leave that intact. So the ones from the bleed assembly are connected. Got that one clamped there, underneath, clamped nicely there. These are a little thicker than the original ones, so they kind of tuck in there underneath that universal compressor bracket. By the way, the compressor that I have is the C1506, which could be gotten in almost any auto parts store in the country. And then this piece will go to the new coolant container. So what happened right now is this bracket is welded on to the metal inner fender. See that? So I'm gonna see if the new one fits without modifying the bracket. If not, I'll have to just bend these back and just tuck this back as far as possible so that the new one fits in. It should fit in because it kind of has a little bit of a standoff from here and from here where it's going to fit. Now I do have an AC hose here that's might be in the way. I might be able to just push that down there, which means I won't be able to open this up to get a boost pin in there or a ring or anything, but that's all right because I'll be changing this AC system hopefully next month when the MOD system comes in and then all this comes out. So at the moment, or I might be able to go to an AC place and have them just shorten up these hoses a little bit, make some new ones. All right, so this is the spillover and the container. So just to make a little bit more space here, I'm going to go ahead and loosen this, and then I'm going to be able to go ahead and like offer up the tank here to see how it fits. I know that this piece is in the right place. I measured it out from the 300 TDI, and this piece is in the right place. But if I need to move this that way a little bit, I should have another inch or so right there. All right, let me disconnect this and then hopefully dump any that might still be in this bottom hose into a container down there. An 8mm works on this clamp that's down here. There's plenty of slack, so you can go ahead and open it up quite a bit so it just slides down the hose. And you can just there you go. You can easily move it out of the way and it's not over the little hump. And I just grab it firmly and twist the top. There we go. No need to damage the bottom. Oh, there's a little bit of liquid in there. Let's see. Kind of got to get ready to dump this. You know what? Let me put the top on it. And then hold this hose up and turn it at least into a way to where. There you go. So there is some in there. Okay. Now, before turning this over, I'm going to pull the clamp off of it and kind of be ready to grab it from the other side. That water's pretty dirty. I might as well go ahead and swap it all out, even though I don't think I'm ready to do the radiator, the full-size radiator right now. I have to do the radiator and the intercooler and just to connect the AC. And I'd rather keep the AC for a little while longer until I have like a whole week and a half down or something to get it all done at the same time. Alright, so let me go ahead and offer up the other tank and see how that is going to work. Here it is, if you didn't see it in the unboxing video. The Allisport coolant tank with a see-through sight, so you can see how much there is in there, and this can be wired up to a warning light or to a buzzer if you'd like. So one here, and this is the piece that connects, but as you see it stands off from the edge. So let me see, move this out of the way. So this is going to be right there. This is kind of in the wrong way here. Like, how am I going to... Okay. I'll be able to cut this down. I've seen this always pointed down, so that's what I'll do. I'll point it down and I'll put it back in there and I'll cut it short, and that'll be fine. So, that's not the case. That's not the issue at all. The issue is hoses. Let's see. If I can do that, I can put it right there. Let's see what it looks like from the front. If I can do that, that's going to clear the top. It's not a problem. Alright, so I had gone over to Kenny's place over at Surfside and measured out the distance between this bolt and the bolt that holds the regular plastic expansion tanks. I'm going to look back at the video, see what the measurement was, and try to set it at that point. And I'm going to mark it, drill the 2 holes there, put in the 2 nuts. Wow, this back one is going to be almost impossible. I think I am going to have to take this top piece off just to bolt this piece in. But hey, it's only one time and I'll have to do that. So. Alright, let me go do that investigation. I'm going to drill, put the 2 screws through, tighten this up right here, and then we'll work on the little strap that has to go down. Right. Okay, I don't want to be like those cooking shows like Julia Child used to do 40 years ago, who would be like, okay, here's how we prepare it, and she'd put it in the oven and she'd pull a finished one out of the other side of the oven, and here we're all done. So this is what I'm having to do. I'm running into a little bit of a problem here with access, so this is what I'm doing. I took off the top cover. I took off the washer tank. That's held in place by just 2 10mm nuts with some washers. There they are right there. So that way I have a little bit better access to the back of this. Now I can't really move this piece without dismantling a bunch of things here, and I'm not going to go ahead and do that. I'm not taking the inside fender off. This little lip right here, I did have to fold it back because it was hitting the side edge of the coolant. It was hitting right there. See the rub? Right there. So I went ahead and put the coolant reservoir right here, drilled the first hole, and then I needed to take this off in order for me to have access to even punch the do one of these things to this side and mark it and then drill it. And then I have no idea how I'm gonna have access to the back to be able to get a nut back there, but I'm gonna try. Okay, whew, what a day. So once I had this off, I was able to push down the air scoop enough to be able to stick in a 7/16 socket to hold the 1/2 inch bolt, the quarter 20 bolt through it. And then on this side I was able to just put my finger behind it, and so it ends up looking like that. So those look pretty nice and clean on both sides, and I was able to put that back no problem. But then I still had the issue of the bracket that went down. So I'll put up a picture on the screen of the real bracket. And then I went to Home Depot, and for a few dollars I bought a long strip of aluminum, put it in the vise, sanded down the top, drilled a hole in it, went to the bottom, drilled a hole in that, turned it 90 degrees how it's supposed to be, and this actually fits in just like that, and it bolts into this hole here with a quarter 20 bolt, 3/4 inch long one, and at the bottom it rested right up against the inside of the fender, and we'll get underneath it. I made it just over 10 inches long, and the hole comes out right behind this shock tower right there, where I can access with a tool to get to the back of like a nylon lock nut when I finally attach it together. But for right now, just so that everything just disappears, I'm gonna go ahead and paint it black. One other thing is the coolant tank is pressing up against a couple of the AC hoses, and there's better ways to route some hoses that I'm noticing. I also have to get a for this bleed assembly, I got it going down there, goes underneath, hold down there, there's the valve there. One side goes to the radiator, and the other side is gonna connect right underneath here. Now this is the switch for the AC, and all these wires are pretty close to the bottom of the coolant tank, and these oil cooler lines are also kind of a little bit, not really in the way, but a little bit. This fuel line here could be rerouted underneath this, so I'll probably do that at some point. Just take it out and have it come underneath and then come up, so there's less obstruction in the way. Then this one that goes over to the, what I believe is the fuel injector, this could be rerouted a different way. This could be rerouted this way and go around. But these AC hoses will be totally different once the HVAC system is over there in that corner. But I'll still probably go to an AC shop and have them reroute some of these hoses, since I am going to be taking this entire piece off here and putting in the the XL frame and the radiator and then the intercooler. I'll probably do that next week. I'll make some time so I can get that done, and then get it all back and running again, back and reliable before the AC comes in, because that'll probably be down for a week. Okay, so I made a few changes since I last shot a little bit video. I disconnected this piece and brought it up and over to just kind of get it out of the way of the other things that are underneath. I connected the lower radiator hose back up. Look at the ceiling. Right there. It's connected right there. Then I'll have to like tie wrap this warning buzzer cable that came with it. I'll just have to tie wrap it here to this AC hose for the time being. I did some self-etching primer through the little bracket that I made. Waited about 10 minutes in the hot Florida sun and went ahead and sprayed it with some just regular Rust-Oleum automotive enamel gloss black, and I'm just waiting another 10 minutes or so to give it another coat, and then that'll be that. I can install it tomorrow. But coming back to the car, when I did a few things here. Oh, by the way, this gas, the input for the gas, I don't have a mechanical pump. I have an electric pump, which I showed in another video, the GM one. So this pipe, let's see, so this hose comes over here from the pump, comes across the top, and it was all intertwined in this stuff here. So I brought it underneath, a much cleaner, straighter shot right in here. I just had to turn this a little bit and tightened it all back up. If it leaks, I do have new crush washers just in case I need them. I am having a hard time putting this Allisport brand silicone hose into the bottom of the Allisport coolant tank. It seems like maybe the coating that they added to this is way too thick or something, because for the life of me I can't get this thing to slide on in. It's gonna need some lube. And that's that. So I'm looking for a particular clamp because these hoses are a little bigger. So I'm looking for a clamp that'll fit this. I should have one in the garage. Then maybe some little WD-40, and I'll get that on there finally and put the clamp on, and then this will be flush. Now, I did realize when I looked at it, I was like, wait a second, this is pretty high. What if the hood doesn't close and I have to taper everything further down and change the strut, not the strut, the little strap that I made? So just to be sure, you know, at first I closed the hood, I went underneath it, and I reached up, and my hand only reached to about here. I couldn't reach the top of it to see if this was hitting this. I opened it up and I didn't see any marks up here on the Dynamat. So what I did was I just laid a piece of cardboard on top, and then a rag, and then I carefully closed the hood. Then from the underside, I was able to reach up, and if I was able to slide this out with no problem, then I know that I have the right amount of clearance here. So that's that.